So, so hey, yeah, this is our first podcast. I wanted to do this, with somebody, and I thought like you are the best person. I'm thinking of
Wow.
doing it. Yeah, like I think we have a lot in common, and of course we're brothers, and I mean
History.
very close in age, very close in where we are in life. Like I have married with a daughter, very young. I mean, your daughter is 5 months old now, I believe.
Yeah, she'll be 5 months in a week.
Yeah, and mine is 2 years old. So I think like you're the first person who came to mind when I thought about doing this. Yeah.
Cool, yeah. I said yes immediately. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So how's it going? How's life?
Life is good, like a lot of crazy changes this year.
Hmm.
I think right? I have a daughter, which is the biggest change. Most of it is good. A lot of it is also bad. Uh,
Bad. Okay.
Mainly comes to sleep.
Hmm.
Sleep is a rarity right now. So a good night's sleep is, I really started appreciating it once I had a daughter. Yeah, and as you
Yeah.
know, I'm working on a startup. So both together, it's it's crazy. But I'm
Yeah.
learning a lot, fatherhood and entrepreneurship together.
You've taken like two massive things at a time. I mean, yeah, I would say these are two big things. I can
Yeah.
say about being a father, of course, it's a massive thing, but having a startup and quitting your job, it's a risk you're taking. I mean, that's the plan is for a bigger payout and more value provided to other people.
Yeah, the upside is really huge. The downside is I learn a lot, and uh, I've never had this experience, right? Like I've always thought about doing this, since 8 years of my experience, since 8 years of my employment career. But now is the time I'm actually doing it with a plan, with a good co-founder, and that way. It's not just talking in the air kind of thing. It was like that for a long time, but now it's not.
Yeah, I can understand. I think even I've been, like I think everybody is guilty to this. Like you just talk about, hey, what about this startup? Like what people, what do you want to do about this? I have this great idea, and it's all in the air. There's no execution. And once it gets to the execution, I think that's when you find out how things are, how difficult it can be, and you learn a lot. I'm sure. I'm sure you're learning a lot along the way.
Yeah, that's what's keeping me sane in the end. It's like, okay, like you don't know what the end is going to look like, but look at all the things you're doing which you would have never done at a big MNC, right? Big multinational corporation.
So, so your startup clienter.ai. So, what's your name? This one, just to I know it. Of course, you've given me the demo and stuff, but just to refresh me.
Yeah, so it's a B2B SaaS that we are selling to accounting companies. What we are trying to do is empower accountants when they are interacting with their clients, and automate a lot of manual processes that they're doing when it comes to bookkeeping for their clients. Like by empowering when they're doing interaction with their clients, I mean centralizing their communications, email, chat, WhatsApp. They can communicate to their clients all of these channels via our platform, like a single content system, like a single document storage where the accountant can easily share documents with their clients securely, and vice versa. That, and also workflows. By workflows I mean like there are like a set of steps you want a client to follow, like a set of tasks that you want your client to complete. If there are 10 tasks, 5 of them clients will do, 5 of them you will do, and together you collaborate, and you provide a service to the client, right? We're trying to
Okay.
do that via workflows, and this is the basic part where we are empowering them with their client interactions. The more valuable part that we're trying to build is automation of bookkeeping. So now once the
Okay.
client receives a lot of this information from their once the accountant receives a lot of this information from their clients, for instance invoices, bills, all those things. The accountant has to sit and upload them manually to QuickBooks
Mm-hmm.
or Zoho Books. These are called system of records, and this is a very laborious process that an accountant has to do. So what we're saying, what if we, when the client sends those receipts or invoices, we automatically sync them to QuickBooks once the accountant gives an approval.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and automatic filling of data. We're starting with that. We have big plans also to
Good.
do things about AI as well, but this is what we're trying to do initially, and we see a lot of value for clients.
So just being honest here, like many of the things I don't understand because I'm not an accountant or I've not been in that field. I've never worked over there. My wife would, of course, like, she's an accountant and she knows much more about all of these things. But
Hmm.
as of somebody from outside, like if I want to get an idea for exactly what it does is to put it in a sentence, like you save time for accountants, like you increase their productivity, correct?
Yes, that's the main purpose. Yeah, that is, if you had to select the one thing that we do, what our goal is to do is that.
You're targeting accounting firms because they can increase their accountants' productivity and hence reduce the cost of hiring too many accountants, or their existing accountants can do more job and they can get more clients.
Correct. So we don't have an exact number for this. It's hard to come up with a number, but what we say is, if an accountant is managing 10 clients today, tomorrow he should be able to handle 15 clients with our software by not compromising on the quality of service.
Yeah, that's a 50% increase in productivity.
Mm.
Good. Hopefully you can achieve that. I mean, that's really good, right? Like in product, generally that's what you want to do. Like people are looking for more productivity with the existing this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
very. Uh, so you have a co-founder, right? And Sampi. So what's his role and what's your role like in your company? I think you two are the pillars of the company right now.
Yeah. You could say the company is like having twin heads, by paper and by, official things. I am the CEO and the CTO, but we
Mm,
both take decisions on behalf of the company and come together to understand what's best for the company. Mainly because Aditya Sampath, we call him Sampi,
okay. Mm,
uh, he is the one who came up with the idea. We initially, he worked for a company called Moxo, which does similar thing, but for a variety of industries, not just
mm-hmm,
accounting. So the difficult part for that software was to build specific features that are required by accountants. So that's the problem, right? If you try to build for everyone, then you don't build for anyone. Uh, and so it was difficult for him to sell there. He was a salesman. It was difficult for him to compete with other similar softwares. These are called practice management softwares, but we don't like to say that. We are more of an automation AI platform. We like to use the word AI, but yeah, that was difficult for him to sell a generic software to a specific industry. So he came out, and we initially had planned on doing something similar on the ground, but after once he had that experience, once he talked to a set of accountants in UAE and USA, that's when we realized, I was also sold, he was also sold, and together with our skill sets, we thought it complements, and we can start with this.
So being a founder, I mean a co-founder, let's say, what have you learned? Like what are the tough things and like going in, you would have some idea, right? Like even I have some idea. Okay, if I start my company today, these are the things that will be difficult. These are the things that will be easy, and then some things which I don't even know about. So what are these things that were what you thought were easy, but they are very difficult, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think a few things I would point out. Let me just say, like,
Think
one thing
about
is
it.
hiring, right? I, as in
Mm,
my 7 years, 8 years of experience, didn't have an experience of hiring or managing a software developer or managing a team. So that was, I took a headfirst dive into that. And, we started hiring interns because that's what our budget allowed. And
mm.
there itself, like, if you get someone who has experience, it's a lot easier, but it's more expensive. But with interns, it's, you need to inculcate that industry standard software engineering principles, in them. And to do that without any experience was quite is quite still quite a challenge. So yeah, that's something that I'm learning and reading a lot
Hmm.
about. The
Okay,
other thing
okay.
is, we started off actually, like now I'm saying, very focused on accounting and we have kind of a product. But we started off very basic. We also thought of we'll build a generic portal, generic industry agnostic SaaS. But then we realized, oh, there's no value in that. And, we kind of pivoted or, focused, you could say, more onto accounting later on. So to come up with that understanding also you need to be more cognizant, and you can't just build on features. Initially we built a few features, then we realized, okay,
Hmm.
let's be more specific. Let's not just be a SaaS with features. Let be a SaaS that solves a problem.
Yeah, that's something I've heard a lot in this. I mean, even I read about stuff like not exactly startup stuff, but when you go out to like, okay, when you have a mindset of I'm going to solve a problem for somebody or some people, that's when you really hit the mark. Yeah, if you go out saying I want to earn a lot of money or go out saying I want to build a big company, it generally doesn't help your cause. If you have the mindset of there's a problem, I want to solve it. It generally helps you focus on what the problem is and coming up with a solution. Like I have a YouTube channel, yeah, and right now I've told you this, so I'm pivoting into helping people with their gaming addiction. So first I came with the mindset that okay, I need to have a side income and so what to do, okay, I'll do this and all that. It didn't work out, so I was not able to focus on, what should I do? But once I shifted my mindset to, okay, these people have a problem and how can I help them? That's when it became much easier for me to do things like, okay, this is a problem. Like, okay, the money part, the business side of things and all that, they're secondary. The primary thing is there's a problem which needs to be solved. I think it's the way, like if you wanna earn a lot of money, that's the core of it. A problem needs to be solved. And thinking in that terms always helps.
Yeah, and to also talk in terms of product, it's like you are either a product led company or a sales led company, right?
Hmm.
And the two things, right, where you solve for money, like where you build things for money and revenue, that's more of a sales led approach. But if
Hmm.
you truly solve a problem, then you don't have to spend a lot on sales, right? You can organically get a lot of people and you solve the
True,
problem.
true. Word of mouth and what do you say? Like even your basic marketing will work wonders because it's just a good product, so you'll have less churn. In general, yeah, a good product goes a long way,
Yeah,
long
and
term.
even like for example, I'll tell you, like we were writing blogs, right, for our company. We want to come up in the SEO,
Hmm.
right? We want to rank on Google.
Uh-huh.
So we are like, okay, let's just write blogs and try to rank on these keywords. That's what we started with, but then later we realized there's no point. There's no point in churning out 10 blogs per month, 15 blogs per month. It's useless. It's for the bots.
Hmm.
But then okay, like let's calm down. Let's look at who our customers are and what they would want to read, what would be beneficial for them. And then we started writing about that. And quantity over quality. We don't want number of blogs per month. We want, like, okay,
Hmm.
let's build something that our customers would like to read, and then publish it.
Yeah, I agree. I think with everything, right? Like, so I have this, what do you say, way of approaching things. Yeah. So it's a three-step thing. So get going, get good, and then get smart. So get going is when you just start with it. Yeah. Like about your blog thing, you just started with it. You didn't want to think too much to optimize it. You went like, okay, 15 blogs per month. Then you started, getting good at it. Like, okay, this is the way we should think about it. This is our, what do you say, customer base. They would like this kind of blog. So now you're getting good at it. And I would say the third step, I don't know how it fits into your blog thought, getting smart about it, as in maybe streamlining the process or
Mm.
whatever it could be. So that's the next step. Maybe you're already there. I'm just saying the first step is to just start with it, whatever it is. Like you're thinking, okay, let me just go, even if it is not good, I'll throw out some things on the wall and understand what sticks and
I think you're the one who told, right? I think the 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 purpose of the first draft is to just exist. You only told me this.
So I told you this one basically. So a canvas. So there's a the painters have this thing, yeah. So they'll have a canvas and they'll just throw some paint on it. Yeah, it's like the first stroke, because else what happens is you have this fear that you will get things wrong. Like, what if this is wrong? So you just ruin it with the
Hmm.
stroke so that you don't have like, oh, it's already ruined. Now I just need to make it better. So yeah, the first, I don't know, not the first draft stuff, but this is what I told you.
I would say it's much on the whole. The last year, I don't know how much I can attribute towards the being a father or being an entrepreneur. It has been more fulfilling than the past, whatever, a number of years in the industry.
Even I would say like being a father, like for me, I can only relate to the being a father part of things, but I would say it is a fulfilling role, being a
Hmm.
father. Like I would say one thing, like when I first saw her, yeah, like when she was just 1 day old, not even 1 day, 0 days, let's say a few hours old, like there was no this, like people say fathers don't have this immediate connection with their daughters or their sons, their children basically. And over time, like just 1 month passed, 2 months passed, so I just developed this very strong affection for her. Like it didn't happen immediately for me. Like I knew, like, my wife is pregnant, my daughter is coming and all that. It's just at the moment it didn't happen. Like I don't know how it is for you. Yeah. For me it was not instant. Like it took some time.
I can relate to that. Yeah, it was like okay, I got the feeling of a protector. Like okay, this is something I
Mm,
need to protect. It's delicate, and I should always be there. But the emotion that you're talking about, the connection, uh, that that is, I think, still coming in.
yeah.
She does make me happy, but that connection, like I'm not sure that there's no measurement for it, I guess. But
Yeah. I think what we are comparing it to the is to the mothers, yeah. So they have a much stronger connection to the child than we do. Like, of course, they gave birth, they are feeding the child, they are there with the child
hello.
much longer than we are. Yeah, yeah, it's a small disconnection. It's okay. But for us, I think we don't have that kind of a connection with our children. So it just develops slowly over time. I think the protector part, I agree with you. Like it comes instantly almost. So I want to protect her. Like I want to provide for her, of course.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, that is more of like it's taken care of. But also protect her. Yeah, bro.
Mm,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
been a strong learning. One more thing I would say, maybe you can relate to this. Like you already mentioned, yeah, like sleepless nights and stuff. It just makes me realize, like me, myself, and Fatima, that we just have this new appreciation for our time. Um, so, people
Yeah.
say this,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Before you're married, like married people look at unmarried people saying, like, oh, when they say we don't have time, they're like, oh, once you get married, you'll know that you don't have time. And once you have a child, I think that's when you really find out that the value of the time.
Yeah. Getting married, you might have more time if you get married, and rather than a bachelor, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it depends. Maybe my situation is a bit different. I think that's
Oh.
yeah. I think you knew your wife before you got married, so maybe that's why.
Uh, yeah.
So, but anyway, like having a daughter, having a child, basically, like you have this thing that okay, where did I spend my time before this? Like, how did why did I think that I didn't have time? This is the this is the new
Yeah.
level altogether.
Yeah.
Finding the time to do the things you want to do, basically. Like,
Yeah, in the 7 years I've worked in the industry as a
mm,
this thing, I had a 5 day week, right? Two
mm,
days off in a week. But now in a startup, okay, we decided that okay, until we get a few customers or things like that, things stabilize a bit, we'll do 6 days a week.
mhm.
So, firstly, the weekend is reduced. Then there is a crying baby in the night. which actually I think Alia does a lot of much more than I do, but still, it's like it does take a lot of time, and then the whole day is to get taken by a startup. I have a very good appreciation for the weekend. And I realize, okay, like past 7 years, the 2 day weekend, I spent it aimlessly. Now I actually, spend quality time in the weekend doing things like, watching a movie with Alia, or ordering food. We don't usually do that. We do it once a week now, and
Mhm.
spending time with the more like quality time, not just taking care of my daughter, but actually playing with her and um, putting her to sleep, things like that. So that quality time is there on the weekend for me, and I think I have more appreciation towards it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, my daughter is 2 now, so she doesn't require a lot of time from us. And I think I would give you this also. Like over time, it gets easier. When they're very young, they're like this delicate piece of, you know, this
Yeah,
small human being. You just feel like you'll break her. I mean, now she's 5, so you don't have that kind of mindset that you'll hold her and you might break her or something.
yeah,
But still, over time, it gets a bit better, trust me. And
yeah.
you just feel like, it was worth it. I mean, even now,
Currently,
I'm sure you feel it, but
yeah,
you feel like it's worth that, that effort you've put into her, the time and the struggles.
yeah. Currently, when she's sleeping, that's the only time that she's alone. Otherwise, she has to be with somebody, and somebody has to be there for her.
Yeah.
Either play with her, feed her, clean her, whatever.
Mm,
You can't just put her in a chair and okay, play with your toys. You can't do that at this moment.
mm. That that even my daughter doesn't. So she's almost 2. So it's
Oh.
rarely that she'll just sit and play with her own toys. Like sometimes she does, but she still needs, like she's still young, right? Like you need to be with her. And nowadays, even more so because she wants your attention. Like she wants that
Hmm.
constant attention. Like she knows if you're not giving attention as well. That's
How has it been for you? You have worked on in a startup, right? Like I think it's
mm,
still different compared. You worked initially for I guess a few months for
Rivi.
Supreme, and then
Ah, Supreme,
Rivi,
yeah. Yeah.
and then for this thing, right? Tabby. How's that been comparatively?
So my sting at Supreme was very, what do you
Brief.
say, very small. Like my role was very small. So like coming back to this thing, accounting part. So that's where I went in and like introduced Zoho books to them, and they've
Ah.
ever since used it until they closed down. But that's what I did. So basically, they didn't have any proper accounting stuff going on, and so I just yeah. So I introduced it to them, taught them, trained them on how to use it, and yeah, it was a very unique experience, I would say. Like, of course, it was like our dad's company. Dad was a part owner, let's say. So it was not like same as, working for some other company. I would say my real experience started with Rivi.
Rivi. Mm.
Yeah. So again, a startup of 7, 8 people, few interns and few full-time people. Rivi travel startup. The worst part was the COVID when it happened. No sales. Yeah, literally no investment, no sales. So that was the worst part. But I learned a lot over there. Yeah. Again, started with 6 weeks of working. Sorry, 6 days a week of working. Um, lot of things, a lot of things. For
How
like,
did it feel when you moved from 6 days to 5 weeks? Was there a productivity increase or more relaxation? How did that help you? Like I'm asking because I'm also battling with that for the company.
um, I would say for me, the biggest thing was what happened was, so maybe it's a bit unique. Yeah. So we had 6 days and I used to commute to work. Yeah. This was like before COVID and stuff. So that the working from home was like not a thing. And we had like a system where, okay, you could do maybe once every month or so. So that was the thing. So working home was not a thing. So commute was a bit of a challenge for me, like 6 days a week going to office and coming back. So my whole day went into that. Then COVID happened. We became a permanently work from home company. Um, and then they decided to move it to 5 days. So it was not like what do you say, a big shift for me from 6 days to 5 days at that point, because we were already in COVID and working from home. So that was like a very big change at the time. I mean, I'm sure even for you, like you were also working at that time, moving from completely office to work from home might have had like a big impact. But in general, productivity wise, um, how do I say? I think it improved. In general, it did improve. Let me think a little bit. Because the issue was not that we were productive or unproductive before or after. It was more or less same. I think the core issue for me over there was the product was not going anywhere. The company was not going anywhere. So even if it was like 6 days, 7 days, like if the drive is not there for if you don't see, there's no vision ahead. So we were a travel company and COVID happened and we were still building the product. And so
Yeah.
what's the end game here? Like, are we gonna, get any clients? We didn't have any clients. Yeah. We just had maybe a few purchases, a few pennies here and there, nothing significant. So that was like a big demotivator. Even if it was like 6 days, 5 days, that was a big productivity killer in comparison to, the number of days worked a week. I would say in general, if you leave it in a vacuum, I would say 5 days was better. Um, but because see, if I come to Dubai and over here we had 5 days, I would say this is much more productive to me compared to what it was in India. But if I'm being honest, yeah, if you wanna scale, if you have that vision, yeah, like I want to scale it into a very big company, provide value, you need to give it time. You need to give it,
Yeah, as founders, you cannot get
yeah.
those perks. That's true. But I'm talking for the employees, right, who might not have as much as take as much as
Mm,
riding as we do, right? In the end of the day, they're employees.
uh-huh.
They might get a few ESOPs, things like that, but that is the
I would say if you think about it, yeah, like I think majority of your work especially is to make sure things are going smoothly. Like the employees are doing the things that's
mm,
required. So
yeah.
so on the sixth day, maybe I think for you it's a Saturday probably. Like if you go to 5 days, so that's when you will be working and the employees will not be working. So you could use this to, plan the week ahead or do some
Mm,
non-managerial related stuff on this day, and they could, take a rest. And you also can take a rest from, managing them, and Sunday is your off day. So I that might be beneficial if you want to think about it. Yeah, but I was thinking mainly you're talking about yourself. I think for you, 6 days is good. I would even say
yeah.
like even on the seventh day, you might be still, even if you're not
Yeah,
directly
we
working
don't.
about it, you might still
uh,
have it in your mind or some minor task. It's always there.
mm. But yeah, I get it. I get it. I think, yeah, I think for the employees, it might be good to have the good break. I'm not saying what number of days, but that'll give us a lot of time on the weekends for the founders just to sit and plan, sit and strategize a
Yeah,
bit more clearly than, because the whole day is gone to,
exactly.
taking calls and giving directions, helping someone out,
Yeah.
those kind of things.
So I can tell you, like I'm not like a founder or something, but I manage three people in my team.
Mm,
So what happens is, so what Tabby has done, my current company, is we moved like no recurring calls on Friday. So that was our thing. So we were always five. Now it has become kind of 4 plus 1, let's say. So 4 days there are recurring calls. It's mainly like managing things. Either my manager books calls for me or I book some recurring
mm,
calls to my teammates. So on Friday, what happens is it's a good time for me, and I think my manager also. Most Fridays, let's not say all Fridays, it's a good time for me to plan the week ahead and think about non-manager stuff. Like there's because when you're working collaborating, there is some individual contribution work also. You need some of it. So this Friday helps me to get it together again, so that on Monday I'm ready. Something to think about.
mm,
And my so like then I moved to Tabby, right? So Tabby has been a really big journey. Like even this is a start. When I joined it, it was a startup. Right
Hmm.
now, it's become quite big, and
Hmm.
like it's become too big right now. Like it quick grew too quickly. Like some of the like things that I feel like I haven't grown as fast as the company has. It has grown too fast. And that's, I mean, that's a good problem to have, I would say. Hopefully you have that problem too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a a lot of times we're discussing, okay, what if we encounter this problem in the future? What if we encounter this? We base our decision on it, but then end the conversation saying, okay, it's a good problem to have.
Mm,
Especially in software, right? We discuss, okay, okay, what if it doesn't scale well?
mm,
But then don't start to scale, like solve the scale problem later on.
yeah.
That's the focus on the problem right now. Focus on the product.
Mm, that's true. That's true. It's so if you build like a really good product, the scaling problem can be easily solved later on.
Yeah.
That's true. True. So, Soeb, how else? How's your, let me see, how's your fitness journey going on with the baby and with the startup?
Yeah, the fitness journey is not fitting well. Like I'm not able to, like, even without the baby or even before marriage, I wouldn't say I was a good, like I didn't pay attention to my health even then. And now it's better because I'm not eating out a lot, which I think greatly improved my metabolism, all those food related issues. But I feel uh, on the side of fitness, body, like how much fast I can run, how much I can lift, it's all gone for a toss. I need to climb up. But the food,
Hmm.
healthy habits on food side, we eat out once, so that's good. I think that's the primary stuff we need to start with. You had suggested healthify, right? So I did it for a week, but now I didn't do it again for a week. I'll start again.
Okay, bro. Okay. I would highly recommend it.
Hmm.
Like I've been on this. Let me like start from the beginning. Yeah. So the beginning of this year, like let's say the first or the second week. So I was listening to this. I was not listening to. So I joined this webinar. Let's say a long one, actually, 2 or 3 hours webinar, which was Ali Abdul, right? I follow him a lot.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
his webinar, he had about setting goals for the year and planning ahead. So what ended up after this webinar, and I read a book as well. So this happened like simultaneously. So I suggested this book. So let me. It's called Fly with Me. I don't see the book here, but I recommended this book. So it's basically setting your goals for the year. Yeah, year or 5 years. It depends on where you look at it. So let's say setting your goals for 5 years. And one of the goals was health. Like I showed you my goals, yeah, what it was.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
this is where I find my motivation. So even like like doing it for 1 week and then stopping. Same with working out. Like you remember, like I used to work out in India, then we came here during COVID, and then we worked out, and then it was always like that. Start, stop, start, stop.
Yeah.
So what has helped me stay consistent is, first identifying, okay, how important of a goal is this for me, and how much do I want to prioritize this? Is it really that, I want to have a good body, I want to be healthy? If that's the case, and I write it down, I think about it, like what exactly do I want? That has helped me like be motivated to do it every day. And once the habit has been set for me, it has become just the second motion to do it, like the healthify me, tracking it, my workouts, and watching what I'm eating. All this has become much easier, I would say, once I identified that, okay, this is like an important thing for me, and
Hmm.
let me do it. And so first, I think we don't have an information problem today. So there are two things: information problem and execution problem. Information
Hmm.
problem is not there. We know what needs to be done. It's the
Correct.
execution problem that we have in today's age. Like You can find it
Hmm.
out. You want to know anything, you can just YouTube. I mean, I think almost everything there's a YouTube on it. If not on YouTube, then there is something on Reddit or.
I don't know if this is a unique problem to me or not. Even you're talking about information, even the amenity problem, right? Like
Hmm.
getting, are you able to get a gym membership? Are you able to afford good shoes, good workout clothes? All that I do, all those surrounding activities, I do it well. I research well. I actually enjoy doing it. But then when it comes to going to waking up and going to the
Hmm.
gym, that's where, I
Yeah.
don't. I even got a cycle. I tried to cycle a lot. Now it just catches dust.
Hmm. I would recommend try doing this because even for me, I was in the same position. Yeah.
Mm.
I see my weight. I used to see my weight going up and up. So like once I started measuring it properly, I started 81 and then over months it reached like 88, 89. It was like slowly going up. I didn't want to touch the nasty 90s. And I mean I mean nobody wants to do that, but
I'm in the national 90s.
um I would highly recommend writing down what you want. Like if it's not a priority, then you can just because right now you're doing a lot of things, right? Like you have your startup, you have
Yeah.
Iman, it takes up a lot of time.
If you do a lot of these things, sleep and a bit of workout, I think that'll keep you sane. Otherwise, you'll burn out and you'll crash. My point is, talking to you really helps. I feel looking at your videos and the suggestions that you give. When you give to them, I have a surge in motivation, but I get distracted by other things and it falters. But yeah,
Hmm.
maybe I should talk to you every now and then to
Yeah, let's
get that
set up a weekly call. I
cadence.
think cadence. What do you mean by cadence?
I don't know. I've seen people use this word for recurring meetings, like weekly cadence, matlab weekly meet, bi-weekly cadence,
Cadence. A cadence is like a musical thing. Okay, it's like a sequence of notes or chords
rhythms.
compromising.
I think that's where it comes from.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
jargon.
good. Yeah. So reducing weight.
Yeah.
So my goal was to reduce weight. Yeah. So I was around 86, 87, I think, in the beginning of this year. And by the end of the year, I wanted to get like below 75. And so what I did was I started working out. That's the thing I knew. So I worked out for like 2 months and there was hardly any movement in the weight part. It was when I started watching my diet and basically
Healthy farming.
controlling
Yeah.
my calorie intake. That's when I saw real results. Yeah, right now I think since 3 months, around 10 to 11 kilos. I'm very, very proud of it. I've
Oh,
never like lost this much weight before. Yeah,
10 to 11 kilos. Wow,
yeah, in 3 months.
amazing.
It takes time. It takes time.
But the main cause for the loss in weight is the calorie counting.
Yeah, it's calorie. And I would say I didn't change my diet in a major fashion. I don't feel that anyway. Uh, yeah, but that's the health side. I would recommend you to look into it even if it's small. If you want motivation, you need to write it down and like that's what's worked for me, so that's what I would recommend.
Do you do this with your spouse? Like, is there like a thing that you support each other in this journey?
No,
Or it's a
uh, so like I'm the one who motivates her to do things. So once I started working out, she started working out with me. Once I started using Healthify Me, she started using it. So she
hmm.
motivates me, of course. She helps me in facilitating the things, yeah, like the diet part. So she's in charge of the kitchen. So of course her input is like greatly required here. So of course she supports me in all of this. And looking at me doing it, it's easy for her to do because I'm like, okay, I don't want to have too many calories. So she feels conscious. So it supports me. And then she knows now that, okay, this is what I eat. And then she supports me that way as well. And then I support her
Hmm.
by saying, oh, this is like something, I don't want to eat. There are too many calories. And this she understands. So there's like this back and forth. Like, I mean, life partner, right? Like, I spend the most time with her. So, of course, she has to be in it for it to work. So, yeah, even like workouts and other thing, planning around it. So, right now, like, I used to be like, okay, I only work out in the morning. Right now, it's become I work out whenever I find time. and I make time for it. Yeah.
Cool. Any good recent movies or books that you've seen, TV shows?
Books, I mean, TV shows. I mean, we weirdly started watching Monk again. You remember?
Oh yeah, Monk. We used to watch it, yeah, as kids, I
Yeah.
remember.
It's fun. It's fun. Like it's rewatching it. It's been what? I think it aired first in like 2001 or 2, and it's set in 99. So it's like all this nostalgic stuff. I don't know if I want to recommend it to you, but that's what we are watching.
Speaking of nostalgia, I recently completed a watch of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Hmm. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
How did it feel? I think
Still hits you different. Any apart from
yeah.
any other cartoons.
Like, did you watch it with Alia or you watched it alone?
I watched it alone. Maybe
Okay,
next time
okay.
I'll watch it with Alia.
So, so me and Fatima, we have like this thing generally, like at night when we want to spend some time together, we'll just put on something. Like we have a show, and generally we go for a show which doesn't have this. I don't know what's the word.
Continuity
Like each show is kind of, yeah, some kind of overall continuity, but you can watch each episode like on its own. So
box,
that,
like a box.
yeah,
Can, like a can, yeah.
yeah. So that we don't like watch 3, 4 episodes in one sitting. Yeah, that can become a problem.
Yeah,
So yeah,
me and Alia started watching Big Bang Theory.
huh,
Uh, and
chill.
yeah, that's still like she watches. Sometimes she gets free, she watches. I get free, I watch something. So we are, on an average at the same level of watching. But sometimes she goes at so. But we can watch a future episode also without worrying about the storyline, right? So
Mm, true. Anyway, we've watched it once, so I think you know the storyline. Yeah,
yeah. Um,
good. And we also watched this thing, Korra, Legend of Korra.
oh,
Yeah,
nice. That was good.
yeah. Yeah, it was Fatima's first watch, so she, of course, like the first one is better, and the last
Oh,
Airbender was better.
oh,
Yeah,
she said that. Huh? A lot of people who watch it for the first time feel that one is a bit more kiddish than this one is more mature.
it is. It is.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
think the creators also went for that. Like that, probably when they released it, yeah. So they know their audience with the nostalgia have grown up, so they can't do kid things again. So they, built a more mature,
I remember
what do you say,
watching
show.
the Sozin's Comet, right? The last
Mm.
4 or 3 episodes on my PSP. We both watched it together. Remember?
Oh, no, I don't. I don't remember. I remember your PSP and how it got
Yeah,
ruined.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We saw
nice.
that together. And then we saw Borat also on the PSP.
Borat is okay. It's a classic. Just today, uh, I was talking to Fatima, and then I was like, so we were in IKEA, and there was this bouncy castle, okay, a small one. So I said, "Oh, a castle," and then she's like, "A
Okay.
king in the castle, king in the castle."
Oh,
Okay, and I asked her, "Okay, where did you hear this?" She's like, "I don't know. You keep saying this." I'm like,
King
"This
in the
is from
Castle. Yeah,
Borat." Like, I like, in real life, I say those dialogues.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, a
yeah.
lot of my choices in music, movies, and all. I think I got influenced by you only. Like you used to watch and have things you used to recommend me. I think you also
Mhm.
recommended Borat, a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Trailblazer.
Good, bro. Good. And yeah, coming to books. So I have like a book I recently read. You ever heard of this guy called Alex Hormozy? He's
Yeah, yeah.
he's booming. So he has a book. He has two books actually. I've read only one, 100 million offers. So very highly recommended if you find the time to read it. Or even audiobook. So whatever works for you.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it's a book about making an offer. I mean, that's in the title itself. Making an offer so good that they feel stupid saying no. That's the that's the yeah, in a gist, that's what the book is about. So how do you craft good offers? How do you
It's
make
like
them
sales.
buy? Yeah, it is sales. It's a sales book. It's a business book.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has another book which I'm planning on reading, 100 million leads.
Cool. Yeah, I think. We need to get some customers, so we'll try to make them an offer that they'll be stupid to reduce. So maybe I'll read it. Yeah.
Good, bro. Good.
On my side, I don't
And
read books a lot, so nothing to recommend from my side.
hmm, you can like, do you listen to podcasts and stuff?
I do, but I listen to mainly accounting related podcasts now. So yeah, I just want to know more about the industry, how they work, different terminologies, that kind of thing. So that's only what I do.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, because I think this gives me like an idea about, because I want to do, like help people with gaming addiction and build a business around it. I think I should also be, getting into the podcast
Eh,
arena because I'm mainly in YouTube. So I watch like YouTube videos around this thing
Hmm.
because probably the audience is there. Not probably, most of the audience is there. I think also podcasts, like I don't know, I don't imagine a person who has issues with gaming going and listening to podcasts about it. Yeah, maybe
Hmm.
that's not where my audience is. Mm.
Yeah, you need to find out where your audience is. Yeah, that's the first step.
It's getting extremely hot over here, by the way. I mean, it's the summer in a
Oh,
desert, but it's like it's very hot. Like afternoon, nobody wants to go out. Like even myself, if I'm going out, you'll find me funny. I'm wearing this cap and hat, let's say, a hat, sunglasses, like I look very different. Yeah, it's
I can
very hot.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hot.
What's the temperature like there in the afternoon?
So in the app or in the news, it says like 43, 44, but it can reach like 50 easily, 50, 51. Extremely hot.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
it's like that in North India also, where my relatives are, right? My in-laws,
Hmm.
there also it's getting crazy. Like, so I'm very thankful of Bangalore weather.
Oh, is it raining there?
Yeah, it rained, right? It's raining, drizzling right now.
Man, I missed that. It
Yeah,
rained here for like 2 days, and it was like the best
devastating.
few days. Yeah.
Oh, that was a devastating rain, right? That really.
Um, it was manageable, but it was
Ah,
nice. The weather was nice at least.
oh, according to social media, it was like the whole Dubai is flooded and all that. Like,
It was flooded for some time,
mm.
but like I'm being a bit biased because I live in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, so here there was not a lot of there weren't a lot of issues. I mean, some roads got issue like flooding and other stuff, but in general, I would say it was good. Not a There was some property damage and stuff because the city is not ready for all this kind of thing because it's a rare thing, so they don't have
Dubai
infrastructure for
compared to
that.
Abu Dhabi, like, how did you like? I always wanted to ask you this. Like, you have lived for Dubai for so long now. How's Abu Dhabi like?
It's much more quieter. So I don't live in Abu Dhabi city, right? I live in the outskirts, let's say. Yeah, it's much closer to Dubai and other stuff. So it's much more quieter, and the community that I live in is very peaceful and like the surrounding area, most of it is like empty. I mean, there are roads and stuff, but there's no other community close by. So whatever you need is there in the community itself. Most of the things. There's a grocery store, there's a restaurant, there are three restaurants actually, and
And
like
how are the
the day-to-day
rents like
stuff.
comparatively, the property prices?
Property prices more or less similar to Dubai. I mean, not a lot of change. Uh, Again, like it depends on which area of the city you're in Dubai as well. Same over here. Like if you go into the downtown and you want, a nice this one, it'll be very expensive. Similar to Dubai. It's Dubai, the city is there are much more people living in Dubai, so you have more housing and more other stuff. Abu Dhabi is a smaller city, and I mean it is a growing city actually, Abu Dhabi. So more and more people are living here every year compared to Dubai. It's growing at a much faster rate compared to Dubai. Rents more or less similar, not a lot of change.
Hmm. Yeah, I miss the infrastructure. Like, Bangalore is nowhere. It's getting worse every year. You feel like suffocating. As soon as so inside those societies, if you live in a good society, inside it's all good. But as soon as you step out, you feel okay. This is the Bangalore that I don't want to live in.
Yeah, I can. Understand. One of my
Yeah.
colleagues just visited Bangalore, and the one thing he had to always, like everybody who goes to Bangalore, is about the traffic. And yeah, like from the airport, he was saying it took him like 1.5 hours. Can you imagine?
You
And
remember when you came to Bangalore and you came to my home? It took 3 hours, three and a
yeah,
half hours, and thank
yeah, I
God
remember.
Huda was in an okay mood. Like if it was Iman, probably she would have, I would say, thrown a fit.
Yeah, she was not in a good mood, I remember. But yeah, I think there was something going on also at that time. I think there was some rally or something which caused this issue.
Mm,
Mm.
cool. What's new in UAE?
Nothing, the weather is horrible, so nothing is
Oh,
happening. Yeah. Just last week, like not in UAE, so we went, like I and some of my colleagues, and Shakib and Shaim actually, we went for laser tag. That was a lot of fun.
oh, who all you? Who all went? You and Shakib and
So
Shaim.
me, so totally it was 7 people. So me, Shakib, Shaim, and I think yeah, then four of my colleagues. So laser tag and a lot of fun. It's very tiring. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's very tiring. Oh, you know, you've been.
I've been like all this corporate team building
Ah, okay.
activities. We do laser tags, bowling, those kind of things. But laser tags is very tiring. You're right.
Yeah. So I track everything on my watch right now, and
Hmm.
I don't know. You're aware of zone one, two, three, four, five, all of this on the Apple
No,
Watch. Okay.
no, I maybe
So
not
just to
yet.
give you like a brief idea, so zone one is like basically normal. Yeah, you're here. It's a heart rate measurement. And zone two is a little bit of brisk walking. Zone three is when you're a little bit maybe climbing stairs. And zone four is when you're like jogging. And zone five is more or less when you're sprinting and stuff. Okay. Zone five is like 172 and above for me. For you, it will be different. It varies. So I was tracking this when I go for a run or something, and when I sprint, so I can maintain zone five for like 3 minutes at max. Yeah, 3, 4 minutes, and then I'm done. Like I can't go there again. So on this laser tag, I was in zone five for like 13 minutes. So a totally different.
Oh,
What do you say?
it's all in the mind.
Yeah, of course, it's all in the mind.
uh,
It's like you are pumped up as well, right? It's not just that you're running or
you
this
have the
thing.
adrenaline.
Yeah, the adrenaline also causes your heart rate to just jump up. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So Shakib and Shaim, they loved it as well. My colleagues loved it. Yeah, really good, really good. And other than that, like I also want to talk about what I am doing as well. So I've told you this before, yeah, about yeah, we just discussed it also about gaming addiction and solving that. So I just so I've set my mind to it, and like I have YouTube, videos planned for lead generation, and if not lead generation, just people who can find value in it, they'll find value.
Mm.
And scaling to maybe start with coaching, that's the plan initially, and then scale it to maybe a product where I'm not involved directly. So this is the basic outline, let's say. That's where most of my free
Mm.
time goes into free time in quotes. Yeah. Yeah, media is my biggest plan right now in advertising it. I tried Facebook ads, by the way. I don't know if you guys are planning on ads or stuff to market it. So I tried Facebook ads. So what I do is, so I don't know if you've heard of this thing called Score app. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, I'm sure you've taken some kind of scoring, yeah, like where, like take the score to understand how well is your fitness, yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then it asks you a series of questions like how much do you work out every day? How do you watch your food? Maybe something like this. Maybe it'll have like 10, 15 questions. In the end, it will give you like a score, like 90 out of 100 or like 20 out of 100. You are very bad in your this thing. Something like this. So I designed like a scorecard for people who struggle with their
That's
gaming
an
habits, let's say.
interesting.
Yeah. So, like, I thought about the questions. It took some time to build it. Yeah. It took me like 3, 4 days to build the score thing, to design the questions, to rate the questions and all that. So, what I do is I ran some Facebook ads, let's say meta ads. Yeah. It goes to Instagram and Facebook. And So basically, the ad was take the scorecard to find out about your, let's say, gaming score. Yeah, how addicted are
Hmm.
you? And so they take the score, so they get the score, but I get their emails and whatever name. And so these are leads basically. So then I email them saying, hey, you took the scorecard. Like if their score is good, like well and good, I don't need to contact them. And I have a question there as well. So do you think you need help managing your gaming habits? So if they answer yes over there, yeah. So if they say yes or like maybe, and their score is low, then I contact them saying, hey, your score is low. Do you want to get on a call to discuss this? So right now I've gotten only one lead out of it, but still it's
Wow,
something. I haven't,
that's something.
yeah, yeah, but I haven't, splurged on it. So I ran it for 1 week, $20 per day. So it's not a lot. So if I really wanted to like scale it up, so then I'll have to spend a bit more money, maybe look into my ads as well, like how the ads need to look like. And Facebook does a good job in targeting as well. So they have all your data. So they know whom to target. So it's worked for me. I don't know, maybe something you guys want to think about in the
Yeah,
future.
I think it's a very good. I'm like thinking on those lines, like, but I think
Yeah,
that's a very good idea, and this way you eliminate a lot of your people who might not require what you offer, right?
exactly, exactly. So the ad is not to your product.
And it's a free tool, right? Like evaluate yourself. Like they're getting in the
Yeah,
end of it, they're getting something out of it, even
yeah,
if
yeah,
they
correct.
interesting. Yeah,
It's you can also design your questions in a way to, eliminate non-hot leads, let's say. Like you can ask like, are you using any tools right now? What problems are you facing? You can ask like open-ended questions. So all of this can give you like a lot of feedback on your real customers. Like you get it.
mm,
Like so what I've done it, my ads, there were four ads actually. So three were video and one was just text. Two of the videos did well, the text one did well. Text is basically an image, yeah, a still image. So I guess like the video ones took more effort to create. So maybe I'll double down on the text side and it'll be easier to create the ads because it takes some time to create the ads as well. And
yeah.
uh, and these leads stay with me, right? Like I have these emails, I can use them later for whatever. And if they say I don't want to be disturbed, I just delete them. So it's not a big deal. And of course, I
Would
keep only those leads who say they are okay being, messaged.
would you say that at one point you were kind of addicted to gaming?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
whole
like,
selling
okay.
point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
okay.
whole selling point.
Which
Because
game was
I
it?
come,
Wow.
yeah, World of Warcraft and Dota 2 to some extent. Yeah,
Okay,
but
okay.
mainly it was World of Warcraft because that game has a lot of elements to you know hook you in. Let's say to keep you playing. Because
Mm,
think about this. Yeah, like even today we have this term called doom scrolling. What's it basically? It's designed in a way to keep you on the platform.
mm,
Like TikTok
correct.
or okay, in India there's no TikTok. Let's say Reels or Shorts or Twitter. I don't know X. How much do you follow? Even that. So they run these A/B tests. They keep it iterating. Not like what do they want to keep your eyeballs on it so that they can run more ads. So of course the games were also designed in such a way. So I'm going to be solving that problem, not the doom scrolling. Maybe somebody else has a better solution than me. But yeah.
Do you have an idea about the like number of people, or some kind of metrics on how many people are affected by this addiction?
So it's a it's a difficult one to track, let's say. So there
Hmm.
is a big market, and the good thing is it's a growing market. Yeah. So you always want to be in a growing market. Even if it's a huge market and if it's on a decline, it's not a good place to be.
And I think you mentioned about doom scrolling, right? Like whatever people do with gaming, I think whatever you talk about addiction in gaming can be uh, carry forwarded to a lot of other kind of content and media.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mm.
I think like see what I'm gonna so gaming addiction is one niche in let's say becoming more productive. That's the bigger let's say goal here, being more productive in life. And one of the problems is if you're addicted to games, you cannot be more productive. Like if you cannot be fully productive or whatever your full potential is. So I'm solving this one thing for a lot of people,
Hmm.
helping them being
Correct.
more productive. So if I want to scale later on, this is my vision about not just for gaming addicts, but for all people in general to be more productive. But that's like a more broader niche. So right now it's just gaming addiction and gaming addiction as I discussed. So how many people have this problem? So the thing is online, like in at least in YouTube, there are I think two or three channels doing this. Yeah. And one of them is not active. Like they don't post anymore. I think so I was doing my own research. I think they get good organic traffic from SEO and they're happy with it. So they don't wanna do more. So they have left YouTube, let's say. They have their videos up, but they're not posting regularly. And the other guy is quite big. So he's there. But
What's his name?
his channel's name is, he calls himself Dr. K. His channel's name is Healthy Gamer. Yeah, that's the channel name in YouTube.
Hmm.
But he's like a doctor, psychologist kind of, he comes from that background. He's like, I used to be a
Ah.
gamer addict and I'm a doctor also of psychology.
Oh.
So, so he has that advantage. But again, it's a space which is increasing every day. So there, I wouldn't say like more and more people are playing games, which means more and more people are, getting addicted to playing uh, playing games. So that's the good side. But of course, I need to solve the problem, and yeah, a lot of things to do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but running ads, if you want like some tips or something like from my very small experiment, you can we can discuss that further.
There's a big elections result coming in June 4th in India. Are you guys keeping in touch of that?
No, not at all. Maybe I can get some update from you. What happened?
Even I, to be honest, am not. I feel it's the BJP government NDA will come for the third term, but it's just about how strong they'll come for. So um, I'm
Mm,
okay with the third term, to be honest. Uh, but I don't. I feel they should not come at a two-thirds majority. That's like a
mm,
that's going to be a bit. Yeah, that's the only thing. I think apart from that, it's all good if they
yeah.
come.
I think at two-thirds majority, they get some extra powers, right? They get to change
Change the
the.
constitution.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's too much power.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's too much power. You never know what they're gonna do, right? So
I think we've crossed 1 hour mark. Maybe let's get in touch next week as well.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
for
this is
sure, for sure,
a good first run. I think we just got
definitely.
to know about it because this is first time for me, first time for you. Yeah, and
Add some
I'm
music in between.
no, no, no. I think that would spoil it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
music like, and in a podcast, like think about it. Yeah, when you listen to podcast, is there any music? Music is there when there's like an ad break or something like that. That's the.
No, initially a bit, to indicate the starting and the ending. The ending mainly, probably.
Hmm. Okay.
I've listened to a lot of podcasts, right? So they all have this one thing. Like nobody just starts off like somebody talking and then somebody not talking.
Hmm.
But
Let me
yeah,
see.
it's
I
all.
don't know.
It's. I'm just yeah.
I,
Nothing.
I'm
No big deal.
starting this just to talk, and it's
You
not
had a
for
session
somebody
with
else.
dad,
It's
right?
just
Like,
for
can you
you and
share that? Is that shareable?
it's kind of shareable. It's long, yeah. It's 1 hour 15 minutes, so I would it'll take some
Oh,
time. But you can listen to it only. Like there's no the video is not required. So if you're like,
where
I
is
don't
it?
know, if you, no, it's not up yet. So I'm still editing it. So I sent him a draft, and he's still reviewing it. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, he's.
Yeah,
You
editing
said
takes time because when it's 1 hour long, right? 1 hour, 1.5 hours long, you need to like spend at least 2 hours to just cut it, like to remove the unwanted parts, and then on top of that, like a lot of other things. So it's a challenge. It takes time. So that's why all these podcasters and everybody, if you see them, if they're big enough, they just start outsourcing because it's too much work. And it's not
Hmm.
high skill work as well. It's low skill work, low skill in terms of video editing,
Hmm.
uh, which you want to outsource. Yeah.
Audio editing is easier than video editing.
I mean, it's the same. I don't do audio editing. Like fixing audio is simple generally if there's an issue in the audio. But like if you're talking about adding music, sound effects, and all that, yeah, that still takes time. Yeah. But the video editing takes more time. Audio is important. They're kind of equally important in, let's say, in a video. Uh, a podcast is very different to a YouTube video. Like you would know, right? Like as a listener, it's very different. Like the mindset you go in each is very different. Like a podcast, you don't want to be hooked. You don't want to, like, you set aside time. Okay, so 1 hour podcast, you set aside time. YouTube video is like, you see, it's 1 hour. You're not gonna, even if it's like 30 minutes, a YouTube video, you'll think about like, okay, do I have 30 minutes to watch this? Yeah. You go in with a very different mindset. So I would say they are very different things as a creator as well. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. And one more thing I was thinking for you is like as a business, like you want to do some social media presence. So like we talked about your business, yeah, you explained to me what it does and etc. Like you can clip it and like put it somewhere, or you can use it as something, for your website or something where you are like, okay, this you discussed it with me, and then you're putting it out there for your clients also to find out about. So because I would say it's difficult to, hit record and talk about your product, but it's easier to, talk to me about your product and then take that and put it. So I was also suggest one more thing, like the next, I don't know if you have done it already, the next time you have a product presentation to somebody, like record it so that maybe you can use it later to, send it to your clients. Because if they, maybe you've already recorded it. If you want to upload something about, just a basic thing about your product, people will want it later down the line. It'll help you a lot. Just to, yeah, because you'll explain it to them like what this is, and you don't want to repeat it to everybody. Somebody can go and find out about it for themselves.
Hmm. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, because I was when I was doing this editing stuff. Okay, there was this software, like the name is not important. It's called Time Bold. So it's a software which helps you cut out some noise and other stuff. Okay, like I was just trying it out, and I wanted to find more about it. So I went to YouTube and I searched for it, and they had their channel and they had a video, and the video is actually them explaining to a client how they do it. Yeah, and they just put that recording on the YouTube so that somebody else can benefit. It's a very simple thing. Like, okay, you take a client on the call and then you prepare for the call very well, and then you help them, and they might have some questions and you solve it, and then you just put it so that future clients can just look at that video and understand how it's done.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's also we are planning to do
Hmm.
like a lot of cold calls, right? Instead of cold emails, we're doing cold videos where we send a very small, like 30-second to maximum 1 minute clip
Hmm.
of what we do. Like a quick, very quick, like however well we can summarize it, and then, uh,
Yeah.
you know, instead of an email, it's better to show a video, right? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
to a short video.
Something to stand out for sure. Yeah.
That's what.
Good, bro. Good. It's been a long first call. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll see you next week then. Inshallah.
Yeah, for sure. And can I just leave the call now, or should I wait?